Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Burning Abyss deck profile. So a lot of you have been representing and saying that I need to be doing a couple of competitive decks, and I really wanted to build the Burning Abyss deck. Now this deck is probably tier 2, especially with Cherubini just being released, and this deck is super fun, and just kind of one of those decks that you can do anything you want as long as you use a bunch of level 3 toolbox monsters, which is really awesome about this deck, and I really love that aspect about Burning Abyss, that it's just such a good toolbox deck that you can throw a bunch of different cards in it to make this deck really good. And plus, quick shout out to Farfa, really awesome channel. I've actually been over on his channel as a gag one time, and I really hope that I can make it into another one of his videos. So I just want to quickly give a shout out to him. So shout outs to him, and let's get straight on into this and see what I'm playing. So before we do, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell down there so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this one. So this is actually a 44 card deck because Burning Abyss doesn't really care about numbers. So I'm playing 44 cards in this build, and it still works very well because this deck mills out really easily, and you want to play a lot more monsters with Gallus the Star Beast anyways, which I'll explain about in a little bit. So first up, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Farfa, Malebranche of the Burning Abyss. Now, all the Burning Abyss share the ability that if this card, if you control no spell or trap cards, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only use either or of their effects per turn if you guys are new to Burning Abyss cards. So like, for instance, Farfa's ability is that if it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a monster on the field and banish it until the end phase, which is a really good effect to be able to just banish it and be able to go from plays from there. Then we play 2 copies of Skarm. Skarm's a little bit slow now, and you just really need it as a 2 of. It was a good 3 of, and you can get away with playing it as a 3 of, but I prefer it at a 2 of. During your end phase, if this card's in your graveyard, banish it, and if this card, except another copy of this card, you get to add a level 3 Dark Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy itself, which is not that big of a deal, because we only play 2 copies of it anyways. Then I play double Barbar. Barbar is a good card to go into time with because you can burn your opponent for 300 per Burning Abyss monster that you banish when it's sent to the graveyard, which can be up to 900 points of damage, which can just bridge that gap to be able to stop your opponent from winning in time. So the Barbar at 2 is just a really good card, and I probably would keep playing it at 2. I play double Libic. Libic is another one that's really good to play as a 2 of. Some people just play 1. I think 2 is the optimal number of Libics, because if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon a level 3 Dark Fiend from your hand, but its effects are negated, but we're not really worried about its effects negated, but it can actually benefit us because if we negate the effect of a Burning Abyss monster, it doesn't destroy itself if you have another monster that's on the field that's not a Burning Abyss, which is really cool, and the really cool aspect about Cherubini being to the monsters that it points to, they don't get destroyed by card effects, which is pretty cool. Then for the 1-ofs, I play 1 copy of Seer, which special summons our Burning Abyss from graveyard when it's sent to the graveyard. 1 copy of Graph, which special summons our Burning Abyss from the deck when it's sent to the graveyard. 1 copy of Kelkub, this one actually, if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to target a set spell or trap on the field and return it to the target's hand. And 1 copy of Alec. I just play 1 Alec. I'm thinking about bumping Alec up to 2. Because Alec is a good 2-of, because it's almost like a hand trap with Beatrice, that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to target a monster on the field and negate its effects. But I'm just playing it at 1. I will tell you later what I'm thinking about dropping for the second Alec. Then I play for the rest of the Fiend engine. I play 3 copies of Fiendish Rhino Warrior. You need 3 copies of Fiendish Rhino Warrior because when it's on the field, it negates the destruction of Fiend monsters, which is pretty cool by card effect. And they cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And if this card is sent to the graveyard for any reason, you get to send a Fiend monster from your deck to the grave. And if you do, these Burning Abyss gain their additional effects. Then, since it's a level 3 deck, we play 1 copy of Tour Guide, and it's a Fiend deck. The Tour Guide really helps out in this deck as well, because the Tour Guide just lets us go into Dante really easy, or Cherubini right off the bat, which is really good. The only thing that you have to keep in mind about Tour Guide is it cannot be used as Synchro material, which we do actually play 2 Synchros in the extra deck. Then for the PK engine, we play 1 copy of Gloves, which when it's in the graveyard, you can Foolish Burial by banishing this card, another PK monster. And also, when it's used for the XYZ summon of a Dark XYZ monster, it gains 1,000 attack, which is pretty cool. Then we play double of the Ancient Cloak. Ancient Cloak is really good as well because you can switch it to defense position to make a monster on the field that's a dark monster gain 500 or 800 additional attack points, which can be kind of decent because this deck really struggles with getting big monsters on board, which kind of sucks, but it's just a trick of the trade with Burning Abyss. They just don't get really big. Boral Sword is the only one that really gets really, really big. Usually our monsters don't get above 2,500, which kind of sucks. But we have other ways of banishing and negating effects to stop our opponent. And this deck is totally a swarm control deck, which is really easy to pull off certain effects to stop our opponent from doing things. But you can banish this card from your graveyard to add a Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand. Then we play 3 copies of Boots. Boots is basically you banish it from the graveyard and you get to add a PK spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which we only play traps in this deck to summon off of the PK engine, or to use off the PK engine. And also if you have a Phantom Knight monster on the field, you can special summon this card, but you can only special summon it once per turn. And all of the Phantom Knight monsters are hard once per turns as well. So let me move this out of the side. This is the PK Fire-ish engine along with the Fiend engine. I have some tech cards that I'm playing in this deck that I'll show you guys right after this. So here we go, guys. Let's see what the tech cards are I'm playing. So I'm playing double BLS. A lot of people play double BLS in this deck because Dante's a light monster and you also play the Effect Veilers to make this deck even more competitive, and it really helps out to play the Effect Veilers because of the Blackluster Soldier. And this deck does struggle with having a boss monster, so we do play the Envoy at the beginning to be our kind of pseudo boss monster, but you only play it at 2 because you're never really going to summon it at 3. In this deck, this card can still end games. It's still really good, and this card will always be good. Then we play 3 copies of Mathematician. This is the card that I'm thinking about dropping down to 2 to play a second copy of Alec. I don't know yet if I'm going to do that or not, because this card's a really good normal summon because you can send any of your PK monsters to the grave, and it's like you're getting a search of a Fog Blade, or you're getting to banish a Burning Abyss to the graveyard, and then once you send a Burning Abyss to the graveyard, they trigger off as well. And if it's destroyed by battle, you get to draw a card as well, which advances your plays, and it's just a really good extender to be able to continue your plays with Mathematician. Then I play 3 copies of Gallus the Star Beast. Gallus the Star Beast is a good card in this deck because we play only, I only play 5 Speller Traps in the whole deck, so this card is really easy to pull off. Plus, it's really funny when your opponent tries to Ash Blossom this to special summon it, because then you look at your opponent, it's like, yeah, I'm just going to reactivate its effect because it doesn't really matter. Then its effect is really good because you just get to send a card off the top of your deck, and if it's a monster, which triggers all your Burning Abyss, it's like a mini Dante. You send a card off the top of your deck to the grave, and when you do, you get to special summon this card. If it's a monster, if it's a spell or trap, you have to destroy this card. Then I play 1 copy of Imp Edge Sabers. A lot of people don't play this, and I don't know why. This card is an MVP with Mathematician because it just keeps coming back every single turn. You can just put a card from your hand back on top of your deck and just keep playing and playing and playing with this card. Then I only play 1 copy of Psychic Wheelater, and I play 1 copy of Psychic Tracker. If you want to play another Wheelater, by all means, add another Wheelater, but I think 1 Wheelater is plenty because it's a good one of. And I play something in here that allows me to have like a second Wheelater, which I'll show you in just a minute. So let me get these cards like straight again, because that drives me nuts. So then for the hand traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom, which are level 3s as well, which can assist us a little bit. I never use them for materials, but you can in a pinch. Then I play 2 copies of Effect Veiler just to make the deck a little bit more competitive, to be able to stop our opponent from doing all sorts of crazy plays against us. The Effect Veilers and the Ash Blossoms come in clutch a lot in this deck. It doesn't really matter if we mill. Like, I have really, in a game against somebody, summoned a Mathematician, sent Effect Veiler to grave, special summon BLS, and OTK them with BLS. Like that. I mean, it was easy because I knew the way around the deck to play in the deck. And it's just super, super fun to be able to have that extra play to be able to send Mathematician or normal summon Mathematician to send what you need to the graveyard when you need it, to be able to get BLS out, to get Imp Edge Sabers to the graveyard, to trigger any of your PK monsters. And I don't understand why more people don't play Mathematician, and it's a level 3. If you have Gallus plus Mathematician, you have a Dante or a Cherubini to start your plays. Like, I've been playtesting this deck for weeks and weeks, and I cannot emphasize how important Mathematician is for this deck, and Imp Edge Sabers is for this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. I'm actually only playing 1 spell card in the whole deck, and that is 1 copy of Emergency Teleport. Now, the reason I play 1 copy of Emergency Teleport is because I summon out my copy of Psychic Wheelater with my Emergency Teleport. or I summon out Psychic Tracker, whichever one I want to. They can special summon themselves from the hand if you have another one, but it kind of counts as like another Wheelater or another Psychic Tracker just to extend your plays and to thin your deck a little bit. Instead of playing the second Wheelater or the second Tracker, I just played this. But you can, if you want to, drop this and play another Psychic Wheelater if you want to, but I just played the one and the one and the one emergency teleport. So that's it for the spells. I only play one spell card in the whole deck. For my traps, I'm playing one copy of the Phantom Knight's sword and 3 copies of the other sword, which is Fogblade. I play triple Fogblade and 1 sword. The reason I play sword is because it gives my monsters an 800 boost, and I can banish it from the graveyard to target a Phantom Knight monster in the grave and special summon it, which can be Rusty Bardige. Or I can use Fogblade to banish it, special summon Rusty Bardige or another Phantom Knight monster to be able to link up into something like Borreload or Boral Sword, which can really help me out with a lot of plays to be able to get higher into my link climb. But the other cool thing about these is this one, I can get all 3 of these out. I can get all 4 of these set in the first turn if I play my cards right, which is extremely easy to pull off because all you have to do is send a Boots to grave, search one with Rusty Bardige, add one to hand with the Phantom Knight's Rusty, or the Phantom Knight's Rusty, Cloak, Boots, and then you draw one into one, and you have all 4 in the grave at the same, or you have all 4 set at the same time. You have 3 negates and a sword to boost your monster if they summon something big, which they shouldn't do anything big with hand traps and 3 fog blades. They should not be able to play through that. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. Now, by all means, there are deck cards in this deck that you could cut to make this card deck 40, but I really like the 44 cards. It doesn't really matter in this deck because of the amount of milling we're doing anyways. It puts us at an advantage to play a couple more cards in the deck so we don't completely mill ourselves out against our opponent if they play out a grind game with like Mystic Mine or something like that. But then again, they're going to burn us out at that point anyways. So, for the extra deck, we're playing double Cherubini. I usually only go into 1. If you can only get a hold of 1, you can probably play the deck with just 1. But I think 2 is better. But if you can only get 1, 1 is fine. But it takes 2 level 3 monsters to summon this card, and monsters this card point to cannot be destroyed by card effects. And if it would be destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can send another card you control to the graveyard, which can be big because you can send a Burning Abyss card you control to the grave, or a Fog Blade to the grave, or something like that to trigger them later to get their effects off. Then you can send a card. You can send one other card from your you control to the grave, and then you can send a level 3 monster from your deck to the graveyard, then target a Burning Abyss monster on the field, and it gains attack equal to the attack of the monster that was sent to the graveyard until the end phase of the turn. And you can only use this effect of Cherubini once per turn, so it's a once per turn Foolish Burial, which is pretty big. 1 copy of Rusty Bardige. This card is just here to search our Phantom Knight cards and to send Phantom Knights from deck to grave. Topologic Trisbania, just to kind of blow back row. It can be really beneficial in this deck to be able to blow all their back row, especially with Mystic Mine and stuff like that. If they don't draw into Mystic Mine right off the bat, you can summon this and then just completely blow all their back row, or they have to chain them just by special summoning a Burning Abyss to a zone it points to. Then I play Borreload just to kind of help me OTK my opponent. And like I said, we don't play anything really big anyways. So this is kind of our big boss monster. 1 copy of Boral Sword, still proxying it until the Battles of Legend, whichever one comes out, and I'm going to get the new one. 2 copies of Dante. Yeah, I'm playing the gold rares. I like the gold rares. Some people think gold rares are ugly. I like them. But basically, you mill 3 cards off the top of your deck. It gains 500 attack for each one. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to target a Burning Abyss monster in your grave and then add it to your hand. Or if it's an extra deck monster, you add it to your extra deck. 1 copy of DDD Stone King Darius. DDD Stone King Darius is a really interesting card to play in the extra deck, and I really like it because it destroys the monster that it battles, and it can't be destroyed by battle if you detach a material. 1 copy of Phantom Knight's Breaksword. Breaksword helps out too because you can pop stuff and summon Dark Rebellion with it. I play Dark Rebellion in here because it's easy to summon off of the Phantom Knight's Breaksword, because you just have to use 2 monsters that are level 3 to summon Breaksword, which if you use, like if you normal summon Cloak and special summon Boots, you can bring Breaksword out and then pop itself, special summon them back, summon XYZ Dragon, and then attack your opponent. Beatrice, because it Foolish Burials everything. Trishula, because you can actually summon it off of Wheelater. Like, it's easy to summon off of Wheelater because you just have, like, you have Cherubini on board, special summon Wheelater from hand, have 2 BAs on board, synchro all 3 together, summon Trishula, and it catches your opponent off guard. 1 copy of Bryonic, because Bryonic just helps us out as well, being able to just go, like, one other level 3 plus Wheelater makes Brionica, and then you or you bounce stuff once per turn. And then 1 copy of the Fusion Dante, because you can special summon this off of the effect of Beatrice, which is easy to do when Beatrice is like, I think it's destroyed by opponent's card effect or by battle. You just special summon this card. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. I'm really excited to play this deck competitively in tournaments because this deck is super, super fun to play. And I'm really excited to be able to play this deck again. I really think that Cherubini is going to carry this deck over the edge. And it's like I said, it's just a toolbox deck. You could play it with just the Burning Abyss cards and the PK cards and get away with it and have a pretty budget deck, to be honest with you. I mean, you can build this deck for less than $100 and it's budget. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. Hit that bell down there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you around, guys.